Liam, what is the shittest job you've ever had?
Probably. You know what? Actually, I'd once done. No one really knows this, but in first year of college, I'd done a hairdressing course, and I had to study. I worked part time at a hairdresser's, and I was getting paid £2.50 an hour for it.
£2.50 an hour.
£2.50 an hour.
But I thought the minimum wage was like £5 back then.
Yeah, so it was like 2013. Even though I was at college, I think they tried classing it as an apprenticeship. I'm not going to say the name of the place, but even though it wasn't an apprenticeship, because I signed no legal documents or anything like that, I literally got employed as in how a normal employee would get employed. Well, actually saying that, I was paid cash in hand as well.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure some dodgy illegal
They were
stuff.
probably giving you the change off of the £10 notes.
Yeah. I mean,
The change bid for Liam.
as like a 15-year-old, like getting 16-year-old, like this was my first part-time job whilst at college, and yeah, I literally got paid like £20 a day. And I was literally like washing hair, making cups of tea and stuff like that. And honestly, I would never work in a hairdresser's ever again in my life. I think if I did want to go back into the hair industry, which I don't, but if I did, freelance, or I'd work in a barber shop. I feel like it's more like, better to work in. But yeah, I'd never work in a hair salon again. That was painful.
Well, I think if you're working in a barber, all you got to do to go freelance is just literally pay out for your own chair.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it costs, but I've heard like you can make quite good money if you get enough clients.
Yeah.
Nowadays, all it is just as long as you can get a good phone, get a good social media feed, and the people come along.
Yeah.
Get 3 or 4 good clients and get them to tell their mates.
Yeah, so
and
true.
before you know it, you're racking up money.
Yeah.
Worst job I had, I worked at Burger King in first year of college, and I was working at a pub, but Burger King was the worst job. So I would go to college, and then as soon as I finished, I'd get a bus back home. Run home, lay down for 15 minutes, and then cycle to a town, which was about 20-minute cycle in the rain or mud. And then I would get to the work, change, and then do 3-hour shifts where I would be a waiter. And then I would come back, go to bed, and go to college the next day. Do that Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends I would work at Burger King.
Oh wow!
So I had maybe one. No, I never had days off unless I decided to like not go to college. But then again, I think in the first year I was a bit more of a dedicated student. But
yeah, I guess you were thinking of money and you're thinking of more long term as well. Like it might have been shit in the moment, but you were thinking long term. So yeah, exactly. And I think at the end of the day, like you're thinking logically about it. Like,
but Burger King literally destroys your self-esteem. Like everyone there is depressed and fat and greasy. Everyone hates each other. You're not allowed to grow facial hair either. But whereas nowadays, usually, like if you work in a cafe, they let you grow it out as long as you keep like something to cover it up if you're working with the food. But yeah, you weren't allowed to grow facial hair, so like no one was allowed to like expand their look to try and look good. Like uniforms were shitty, and rather than you think if you worked at Burger King you get free food on your break. No, what you'd do is if you'd work a 6-hour shift, you'd get a certain amount of points, and if you did an 8-hour shift, you get a certain amount of points.
Points? What are the points for?
So for example, if I did a 6-hour shift, I would get 50 points. And there would be a little piece of paper that showed you what each food was the equivalent of points.
You know what?
6 chicken nuggets was like say 20 points. A medium bag of chips was like 30 points. And so for a break, usually like, all you could really get is a small cheeseburger and like some chips.
Oh wow, okay. I was about to say like that's really good incentive, but then essentially it might not be, because if you're on your break, it's like you might have a big appetite. Yeah. You know what? Because when I've seen people like on their breaks and I think, oh wow, they must get loads of free stuff. But you know, if that's not the case, and it's actually
it might have changed, but that was like we were all so hungry. We would during our breaks we would go to the bakeries outside of Burger King and then go and get the food there. But then if our managers caught us, they would tell us off because they said, you shouldn't be getting food from there while you're working, like you should be getting food from here. But you're not feeding us.
Oh yeah,
it's
exactly.
Disgusting. Plus I was just starting to go to house parties as well, but it sucked because I had to leave about 2 hours early because I worked at Burger King the next day, so everyone else was like having sex and having a good time at the party. I had to like literally get my dad to pick me up, and then I'd go home, go to bed, sober up and go to work.
Oh my god.
And the mates would tell me about what happened like after I left, and it always seemed to like start getting good right after I left. The parties would go until like midnight and I would leave at 8.
Oh my god, 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah, so I would get to the parties at 6, barely get tipsy.
Most people would have arrived after 8.
Yeah, so I would get there at 6, get barely tipsy.
Oh my god.
And I was still a virgin at this point, so I didn't know how to talk to girls, but I was trying to like get out, put myself out there a bit.
Yeah.
And then about a year into when I was working at Burger King, I went to Ballmasters Festival. And the whole time I was at Ballmasters Festival, that was like my first lads kind of getaway. And I realised how much I was anticipating going back to work and how much I was dreading it. I realised, oh my god, I've got to quit. Because I realised how much fun I was having when I wasn't, like, thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I came back and I just handed in my notice, like, I quit.
Well, yeah, exactly. I think, like, it's really good as well that you've done that, because obviously obviously there's different situations, there's different scenarios and different time places and stuff like that, but obviously you're in the situation where, like, you feel really uncomfortable and, you know, it was making your life unhappy in that job, and some people feel afraid to leave those environments, and the fact that you took yourself and thought, I'm more happy with this environment, I'm going to make a change, I'm going to make something different, and you removed yourself from it, is something that's really, really good for you to do, because some people kind of like, oh, well, I need the money, let's just stay in it, and then they live the rest of their lives miserable and depressed. And
there are some people that I see that are still working there even when I go in now for a snack. And I'm just like, oh my god, you never tried. Like, Jesus Christ, you never took your shot. Like, the amount of times they would complain on my break saying I'm fucking miserable, and I'm like, oh, fucking do something about it. Here's a bit of story. By the way, this is quite gross to anyone that's listening. Okay, so a lot of homeless people would come into Burger King because they could use the toilets. And one time, I don't know why he did this. I don't know if it was because he was drunk or it was because he was just really angry. But he didn't shit in the actual water. What he did was he shit on the seat and all around it and on the floor. And because obviously he clearly didn't have a good diet, it wasn't like solid.
Was it diarrhea?
Like, it wasn't. Yeah, it was diarrhea. It wasn't like sausage platform shit.
Mate.
It was diarrhea. So it was a big flood of
Egg McMuffin.
Yeah, it was a big flood of diarrhea on the floor. It went right to the door. So probably from where I'm standing from the curtain all the way to the door over there.
Wait, it was actually outside on the floor as well?
It was. You could see it going under the door where customers were walking in, and so the manager comes down and goes, like, the manager's taking a massive shit on the floor, and the two girls that were like, whose job it was to like maintain the cleanliness of the floor, they just refused. They went, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to go clean up the manager's shit. And everyone was saying, oh, shouldn't we call in an expert that like is supposed to clean this up? And instead they turned to me, and because I was such a like beta male pussy, they said, Large, if you do it, we'll give you a free meal. And
that's actually, like, you know what, that's kind of manipulating in a way. I think that's not very nice for you at all.
I was so pathetic and scared of the manager, so I said, okay. So it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. This is during the busiest time, so I just put on these big black gloves and just put a wet floor sign down, and that we didn't have like we didn't have a dustpan and brush, so what I had to do was I had to pick up the shit with my hands in these black gloves and then put it in a black bag, and I couldn't, because there was like some parts in the corner, I had to literally like get about an inch away from the shit and pick it up, and then the smell was going on my nostrils, and you know, like when you feel so bad, you can literally feel the sick going up in your stomach, and you have to literally push it down. I was like, ugh, every 5 minutes, and because it was 3 o'clock, customers were walking in, seeing the flood of shit and quickly walking out, and they were just going, oh my, and they were nearly puking up, and then one guy even looked at me like with such pity, and he was like, oh mate, why are you still here? And then he closed the door on me, and I actually I cried for like a few seconds. I was like, oh my god, this is my life right now. I am literally cleaning up a homeless man's shit. And then I finished.
The thing is, well, that's really sad, because that's not a part of your job.
It wasn't a part of your job, that's the thing.
And the thing is as well, is that the manager bribing you with a free meal to do it, even though he's meant to be the face of authority that everyone's meant to look up to, but actually you were scared and almost felt, essentially because you were new and stuff like that and intimidated, in a way kind of like bullied, feeling like, almost as if you were bullied into wanting to do it.
Yeah, you know what the worst part is? I finished and I didn't get a free meal.
You being serious?
Yeah, I didn't get a free meal. They said, technically we're not really allowed to just give out free meals like that. And so I just went on my break after that, and I was just like thinking to myself, oh my fucking god, like I was at my lowest point. Like,
wait, and the manager said to you was going to get a free meal for that?
Well, no, basically the helper super manager, he was basically like the assistant manager. He said that, but then the main manager was like, we can't just give him a free meal. No. And then no, honestly, like, because that assistant manager said to you that you were going to get that. No, honestly, like, if it was another circumstance, like, service really difficult customer at the till, and I'll give you a free meal, I can understand why a main manager would be like, but shit. Actually cleaning up actual feces from a toilet that's one made you cry, one absolutely stank, and free as well. You feel like all your dignity and respect for yourself is kind of gone because you have to actually put yourself in that situation to do that.
that duty manager, whoever it was, like, honestly, I think I probably would have said to them, no offence, I've literally just been more or less manipulated into cleaning up a homeless man's poo.
Like, you put me at my lowest low.
Yeah, put me in my lowest low. You said to me I was going to get some food for this, so I'm really hungry. I don't really have much money because you were a student, obviously, as well. And the thing is, as well, that is another fine example of some employers taking advantage of
the new people.
of no, not only that, but students as well. Because I feel like especially students as well. We'll go into the top of this later on, but students definitely kind of just want to jump on any job they can without realising that they're actually getting manipulated, used, and very, very harshly taken advantage of, because they're like, oh, it's money, let's do this, that, and the other. And it's like, actually, slow down, read your contract, read the small print, and understand what your actual duties are, because some people in jobs are doing management roles and not getting paid for it, or the manager will literally sit in the back there, literally watching YouTube or something, while you're literally like running the shop. And you know what I mean? Like, and the sad thing is that is getting normalised in modern day society, and that shouldn't be the case. And people are just accepting it because it's money, and that's all they're thinking of. When it's like, do you know what I mean? Like, it is disgusting, really.
There are so many managers that people may not like, but at least they respect they're working just as hard as the others.
Yeah.
Because there's some managers, they're really nice, but they don't do any work.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I know a few managers that literally sit on their ass all day, don't do anything, but they're quite nice as a person, so you don't quite mind it. There's some managers, they're assholes, but you can see that they're grinding and they're working hard and they're clearly trying to keep the numbers up. So I'm like, yeah, you are like telling us off, but at least you're doing your job. So fair enough to you. Like, you rarely get a case where it's a bit of a blend of both, where like, yeah, they're nice to you sometimes, but they're also like, come on now, let's do this.
I think as well though, like, I've read quite a few things how especially in Monday Society today, jobs, and it's become a trend now, where it used to be the whole thing where management would be very strict and treat their employees like school children in essentially in a way. And now it's kind of become more of a popular trend where employers are now starting to treat their employees like friends and family. So more like, you're our mates, be more casual, having that fine line between casual and professional. And that's an environment that you want to work in. You like working in a line of duty where it's just professional. Like, obviously,
you want it to be like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah. Obviously, you want to work in a professional manner and professional atmosphere, but to the extent where you're not friends at all, to the extent that there's no socialising or anything like that at all, that's an environment that's kind of, in a way, that's actually kind of toxic. And especially for Monday Society as well, where we all need those breathers of, I think in our generation particularly, obviously everyone with how much anxiety's gone through the roof and stuff, it's like, you can't have jobs no more where it's just strict stress without that fine line of having any like socializing or kind of friendship behavior involved. Like, you need that.
If you were a manager, would you rather be the friendly manager or the respected one?
To be fair, I'd try to be both.
But if you could only have one, like, you could either be the friendly one that's like, oh, really nice, but a lot of employees can slip by you a bit and get away with stuff, or would you not be the respected one that, like, yeah, he's a bit of a dick, we hate him, but he gets the job done?
Well, because no, not all respected managers are dicks though and get hated.
But genuinely speaking, the ones that are respected, they're like, okay, Dag, he's clearly got authority around here, and yeah, many people don't like it, but you can see that he's getting the job done. Well, the friendly one is the one everyone likes to talk to, because they know, oh, if I ask this guy off for holiday time, he's probably going to say yes. Well, they never want to ask the other guy.
Well, it depends in the different situations, doesn't it? Because obviously, you can be a friendly manager and still have everything done and stuff like that, and then vice versa with the other one. So
I always find like the overly friendly ones, they're sort of like they're too involved, like with all the other employees, and like they're not focusing as much on the work that needs to be done. They're great to talk to, they're great to have a laugh with, but the other managers look at them thinking like, what a fool.
I disagree with that in a little sense as well, because obviously, like, when I worked at part-time at New Look, all the managers there in Cabot Circus store, they were the most loveliest people ever. And like,
I was going to say, if you're talking about the X store, I had to disagree with you.
Oh god. But yeah, so like with the Cabot Circus store, like like I never thought of them as like employers, because
Yeah.
obviously we're more like friends. Like obviously we'd all get the work done and stuff like that. I wouldn't take advantage of them by knowing that they would treat me like friends, so I would like bum off and not do work. Like
Yeah.
I'd still do work and stuff like that, and it kind of motivated me a lot more knowing how friendly and stuff they were, and especially the store manager as well. The store manager that's constantly working, constantly like striving to do her best and stuff like that, and making them running the store like 24/7. Like she would always do her job professionally, and no one would take advantage of her.
Yeah.
And she was one of the most friendliest people I know. She would always come up to us, socialise and stuff like that when she could, and she knew how to prioritise and do that time management of when she could do that and so on. And I think like some managers get stuck in the whole false expectations that they just need to focus. When you always focus, and don't lose your focus. But there is a fine line where you can be focusing and then socialise and be nice to your employees at the same time. And if you're just focusing, getting the work done and ignoring everyone, that's a bit of a boring job, really. I wouldn't want a 9 to 5 job where you literally just go in, come out without really like do you know what I mean? Like if you're in a working atmosphere that you want to work in for the rest of your life, you want to be friends with them there. You don't want to just be like, oh, you're right, employee number 2 over there. Yeah. What you doing on this till? No, actually, get to know them, get to know their life, maybe be friends, and now go down the pub or something.
No, like nothing pisses me off more when like a manager's telling someone off for like chatting away to another employee, but then you'll see him chat to one of the managers and they're having like a friendly banter for like 5 minutes. Oh, that like managers that are hypocrites are like the biggest annoyance ever. Like I would always get told off a prep for like having like a 5-second conversation with like another employee, just asking how they were, and the manager would be like, hey, don't talk, get work. And then I'd see him go and like have a chat with one of his other employees, and he'd be like 6 minutes like having a laugh. And I'm like, God, mate, practice what you preach at least.
Yeah.
Like you can't really have it both ways sometimes. Like it does suck, but what can you do? I think that's why a lot of people just want to be self-employed nowadays. I think that's quite hard to like get to that point of self-employment. So there's so many routes to go down. I think we're getting past the age of like 9 to 5. Like you can get money off like Instagram and TikTok nowadays.
That's mad, isn't it? Thinking what it's gonna be like in 10 years.
Now I think like the 9 to 5, it's just slowly going away.
Yeah.
People don't read. Nowadays, most people don't. Besides construction workers, I don't know many people that actually work 9 to 5. Like so, it was like 8 till 3 or like 3 till midnight. Like there's so many different times nowadays.
All these 0-hour contracts as well and stuff like that. Bad.
Yeah, like, another annoying thing is when you get older, like the more you work, if you're doing like say weekends off, Monday to Friday, you spend so much time with your work people. Like I've always tried to make it a rule, like don't fuck around at work.
Yeah.
Don't shit where you eat.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
There have been plenty of like girls I've got along with at work, but I've always got good vibes off. But I've always tried to say to myself, oh, just don't shit where you eat.
The older
you get, the more time you spend at work.
Yeah, I think.
And so you think to yourself, well, I've got to meet people somewhere.
Yeah.
But we live in like such a age where like if you say the wrong thing, you can get in trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Because some people can see what you're saying as, oh, he's just being friendly. Other people are a bit more sensitive, and they might see it as like he's making me feel uncomfortable. Like you don't really know what other people are thinking. You might see yourself as a friendly guy. Other people might see you as, oh, he's just being a creep.
Yeah. I always try to
I think it's quite a dangerous workplace nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, like, especially in workplaces and stuff like that. Like, I wouldn't want a relationship with someone that I worked with.
Yeah.
Like, for example,
what
like,
if you got along really, really well with them?
No, exactly. So like, some
it's hard
people,
to
like some lovely girls that I've been friends with and stuff like that. Like whenever I go up to Manchester or whatnot, I'll literally meet them for coffees and stuff, and they're literally like sisters to me, and they're like best friends. And like I could never think of like wanting to kiss them or anything like that, just because obviously like I love them so much as friends and stuff like that. Like I get so excited to be able to see them and stuff, and like it's just really, really nice to be able to have that friendship with the opposite sex without thinking that you know what I mean, like as a guy you're gonna have to try and get in there or something like that, because like it's not like that at all. Like I just love hanging around with them, chilling out and stuff like that, proper banter vibes like me and you have.